They thought the streets were quiet. They thought the cameras were off. They thought no one was watching. But when Maino stepped on that stage, all hell broke loose. Every word, every glance, every laugh carried weight, and DJ Akademiks was ready. The tension wasn't just in Harlem, it was everywhere. From the block to the blogs, from social media to the studio. The city was waiting for chaos, and they got exactly what they asked for. This wasn't just another rant. This wasn't another online argument. This was history unfolding in real time. Maino dissing Jim Jones and Fabolous live. Dragging names, exposing truths, and hitting nerves nobody dared to touch. And Akademiks. He wasn't backing down. Every reaction, every comeback. Every subtle jab became a headline before the words even left his mouth. The fans were screaming. The streets were buzzing. Old alliances shook. New enemies formed. And one thing became crystal clear in the world of hip-hop. Loyalty, respect, and ego collide in ways that can explode without warning. Every legend has a breaking point, and tonight, the line was crossed. From Harlem to the world, this battle is bigger than music. It's about pride, reputation, and who really runs the streets. And as the tension rises, you're about to witness the fallout, the drama, and the truth behind every fiery word. This is where legends clash, and only the real survive. The streets of Harlem were alive that night, buzzing with anticipation and a low hum of tension that seemed to seep into every corner. Word had spread quickly. Maino was about to step on stage and DJ Akademiks was in the building. The rumor mill had done its job, spreading whispers, leaks, and speculation that made every listener feel like a part of history in the making. This wasn't just another live diss. This wasn't another interview or a recorded rant. This was Harlem, raw and uncut, and the city had its eyes wide open, backstage. Maino paced like a lion in a cage, energy coiling in him like electricity. Every second that ticked by amplified the stakes. He wasn't just going up against a commentator. He was going up against someone who could twist narratives, manipulate angles, and amplify chaos with the click of a button. And the legends in the crowd, Jim Jones, Fabolous, even a few hidden veterans from the Harlem scene were all watching, waiting for the spark that could ignite a firestorm. As the lights dimmed, Maino stepped into the spotlight. The roar of the crowd hit him, but he didn't flinch. This was his arena. Every syllable he had practiced, every pause, every glance, every jab in his mind, they all mattered. The room felt electric. Akademiks leaned back, eyes sharp, already calculating the fallout. He knew what was coming. And he knew the world would catch every second. Maino's voice cut through the tension immediately. Sharp and unwavering. He wasn't just calling out names, he was exposing histories, revealing grudges, and challenging egos. He pointed subtle jabs at Jim Jones, weaving narratives about past betrayals and stolen glory. Fabolous shifted, jaw tightening, eyes narrowing. He knew these lines were loaded, designed to hit harder than any diss track ever could. Every person in the crowd felt it. The tension, the drama, the threat of something unpredictable. The streets had been waiting for this moment. Social media lit up as snippets and whispers began circulating instantly. Fans debated every line, every inflection. Every pause Maino took became a headline. Every nod of the head, every glance at Akademiks or Jim Jones. Dissected, analyzed, shared. Outside the venue, cars slowed. Crowds gathered and phones recorded every angle. This wasn't just a stage performance. It was a live, evolving drama that the city was consuming in real time. Maino's energy didn't falter. He leaned into the mic with confidence, letting every word hit like a punch. He called out histories, old alliances, and moments that had been whispered about in the streets for years. He wasn't just entertaining the crowd, he was commanding respect, demanding attention, and reminding everyone why he had earned his place in Harlem hip-hop. The room seemed to pulse with his intensity, the walls vibrating with the weight of every syllable. Akademiks didn't move. He let the storm rage, knowing that his reaction, or lack thereof, was part of the game. His eyes scanned the crowd, noting reactions, gauging shifts in energy. Every subtle expression, every flinch, every cheer was data, a map of influence, power, and fear. The commentator had become an instigator, a strategist, turning the live performance into a chessboard of egos and reputations. Jim Jones remained composed on the surface. But beneath it, a familiar heat burned. He'd been through beefs, confrontations, and public meltdowns before, but this was different. Maino's lines weren't just loud. They were calculated. Every reference, every slight, every indirect jab was designed to destabilize and provoke, and it was working. Even seasoned veterans in the crowd could feel the tension creeping into the room like smoke, subtle but undeniable. Fabolous shifted in his seat, hands clenched, eyes darting between Maino and Akademiks. The calm he tried to maintain belied the storm brewing inside. He had witnessed diss tracks, interviews, and live events, but the raw immediacy of this moment was something else entirely. This wasn't just entertainment. This was a live psychological play, and he was in the middle of it. Outside, the city hummed. Every smartphone streamed, every social feed erupted. Clips were shared, reactions posted, rumors spread. The pressure wasn't confined to the stage, it radiated outward, touching fans, critics, and even casual observers. The stakes had grown beyond Harlem. The world was watching, and every action on stage would be dissected, debated, and magnified. Maino's intensity only grew. He leaned closer to the mic, voice rising, commanding, challenging. The crowd felt every word reverberate, every beat of rhythm a reminder of his power. This was more than a diss. It was a declaration. This was a reminder that in Harlem, loyalty, respect, and street credibility were currencies worth defending. And if anyone tried to challenge that, Maino was ready to expose them. Akademiks finally spoke, his tone measured but piercing. Every word was a calculated strike, designed to provoke reaction, to stoke fire, to fuel the narrative. He wasn't just reporting. He was participating, turning the moment into a spectacle that transcended the room. Every camera angle, every reaction from Jim Jones and Fabolous. Every subtle gasp from the crowd was caught, captured, and analyzed. The night stretched on, tension thickening with every exchange. Maino's words cut deep, each line sharpened with experience, history, and rage. Akademiks countered with precision, highlighting hypocrisies, contradictions, and past moments that added layers of drama. Jim Jones and Fabolous absorbed it, calculating, waiting for the right moment to respond. And the audience. They were caught in the crossfire, exhilarated, shocked, and hungry for more. Through it all, the streets remained alive. Social media feeds exploded with clips, reactions, and debates. Fans dissected every moment, arguing who had the upper hand, who had been disrespected, who had scored points. Every move on stage became a lesson in influence, strategy, and psychological warfare. This wasn't just entertainment. This was a live chess match with reputations on the line. As the night deepened, the energy didn't wane. If anything, it intensified. Maino pressed harder, weaving complex references and jabs that hit like a hammer. Akademiks remained calm, knowing that provocation was part of the game. Jim Jones and Fabolous watched, weighing each line, each glance, preparing for when their moment to strike would come. It wasn't just a battle of words. It was a clash of histories, legacies, and egos. Loyalty, betrayal, respect, and ambition collided in a way that left the audience on edge. Every reaction, every gasp, every cheer was part of the story, part of the tension, part of the drama that would be talked about long after the night ended. And even as the final lines of the first set were delivered, one thing was clear. This wasn't just a show. This was Harlem's soul on display, raw and unfiltered. Every word carried weight. Every glance told a story. And every moment reminded the world why these names, Maino, DJ Akademiks, Jim Jones, Fabolous, weren't just entertainers. They were legends in a city that demanded authenticity, respect, and intensity. By the time the first round ended, the room was buzzing, the city alive with speculation, and the streets waiting for what would come next. Loyalties had been tested, egos challenged, and reputations laid bare. The drama wasn't over, it had just begun. The night didn't cool off. If anything, it became a pressure cooker ready to explode. Maino had set the tone, and now the room was charged with anticipation. Every person in that venue felt it. The weight of history, the electricity of unresolved grudges, the raw unpredictability of Harlem's finest. Even outside, social media feeds were on fire. Clips of the first exchange were already going viral. Fans debating every word, replaying every pause, dissecting every glance. The city was alive and Harlem was the epicenter. Jim Jones shifted in his seat, a subtle but telling movement. He knew the stakes weren't just about pride or public image. This was about legacy. Every line Maino dropped cut deeper than a diss track. It cut into perception, reputation, and street credibility. Fabolous leaned forward, jaw tight, eyes scanning the crowd. He could feel the tension, the silent murmurs, the energy rippling through every person present. This wasn't a performance, this was a battlefield, okay? And every syllable was a weapon. Akademiks, even the strategist, remained calm. But his mind was racing. He was no stranger to chaos, no stranger to the way words could ignite fires in the streets. Yet tonight, it felt different. Maino's energy was relentless, raw and unapologetic. Each jab at Jim Jones and Fabolous was calculated, yet delivered with the force of pure emotion. It was unpredictable, untamed, and terrifying to watch. The crowd leaned in, hanging onto every word. Cameras flashed, phones recorded, and streams amplified every syllable across the world. Outside, debates raged in real time. Fans, critics, and casual observers all chimed in, dissecting every line. The city wasn't just witnessing drama, it was participating in it. Adding fuel to a fire that had started long before the first word was spoken, Maino's voice grew sharper, more precise. He referenced past battles, old disses, and moments nobody else dared to bring up. He wasn't just attacking names. He was exposing histories. He painted a picture of betrayal, shifting alliances, and hidden grudges. Reminding everyone why respect in Harlem's hip-hop scene wasn't earned overnight. The crowd reacted with gasps, cheers, K, and a low hum of tension that could be felt through the walls. Jim Jones finally spoke, K's voice cutting through the room like a blade. Every word was measured, but it carried the weight of experience, street knowledge, and survival. He didn't just respond to Maino, he countered, reminding the room of his own battles, his own victories, and his own reputation. The room felt the shift. Eyes widened. Whispers ran through the crowd. And the stakes climbed higher. Fabolous, never one to be silent, added his perspective. A subtle but powerful reminder that he wasn't to be underestimated. Each word was delivered with precision, a calculated combination of truth and provocation. The crowd's energy surged, bouncing between cheers and murmurs of disbelief. Harlem was witnessing a masterclass in verbal warfare, a live drama that blurred the lines between music, street politics, and raw human emotion. Akademiks leaned forward, a slight smirk playing across his face. He knew he had orchestrated this, and now he was watching the fallout. Every reaction was gold. Every misstep, a viral moment waiting to happen. Yet amidst the chaos, there was respect, grudging, unspoken, but undeniable. He understood the power of words in Harlem streets, the influence of a single line, the ripple effect of a calculated jab. And tonight, he was in the center of it all. Backstage, whispers spread like wildfire. Crew members, associates, and friends exchanged glances, knowing that what was happening on stage would echo far beyond the venue. Every clip posted online, every reaction captured, every snippet shared was rewriting the narrative of Harlem hip-hop in real time. Loyalty, betrayal, pride, and reputation all were on display. The tension didn't let up. Maino pressed harder, his flow more aggressive, his delivery sharper. He wasn't just performing, he was dismantling, dissecting, and exposing. Every name mentioned, every slight, every subtle implication carried weight. Fabolous and Jim Jones absorbed it, their own energy rising, their own strategies forming in real time. This wasn't rehearsed. This was instinct, history, and survival converging on a stage in front of hundreds. With thousands more watching online, fans erupted at every jab, every reaction, every counter. Social media was ablaze with commentary, speculation, and outrage. Every clip, taken out of context or not, became a viral sensation. The streets outside echoed with debate, analysis, and anticipation. This wasn't just a battle of words. It was a cultural moment, a clash of legends, a living, breathing story unfolding before the world. Akademiks, observing every moment, knew when to interject and when to let chaos take the lead. He understood that in moments like these, silence could speak as loudly as words. And the room felt it, the tension, the anticipation. The weight of history pressing down on every person present. The back and forth continued, each round more intense than the last. Maino's lines were sharp, strategic, and relentless. Jones's responses were precise, seasoned, and deadly in their subtlety. Fabolous added layers of intelligence, wit, and authority. And the audience. They were caught in the middle, mesmerized, shocked, and exhilarated. This was more than a performance. This was a war of reputations, a test of loyalty, and a battle for dominance that could reshape the narrative of Harlem hip-hop forever. As the first 2 hours unfolded, the intensity only grew. Every glance, every pause, every reaction carried meaning. Loyalty was questioned. Respect was challenged. EGs collided. And in the eye of the storm, a clear truth emerged in Harlem. Nothing stayed hidden. Nothing stayed quiet. And every move had consequences. By the time the second segment ended, the room was electric. Fans screamed, critics analyzed, and the streets outside buzzed. Maino had made his mark. Jim Jones had responded. Fabolous had reminded everyone he wasn't to be underestimated. And DJ Akademiks. He had orchestrated a spectacle that would be dissected and debated for weeks, maybe months. The drama wasn't over. In fact, it had only just begun. The cameras captured every moment, every reaction, every flash of tension. Social media exploded with clips and commentary. The streets were alive, buzzing with speculation and debate. Alliances had shifted. EGs had clashed. And the world was watching. Harlem had delivered its own theater. And everyone who witnessed it knew they had been part of something unforgettable. As the night drew to a close, the tension lingered. Every person present, every viewer online knew that this was far from over. There were lines yet to be crossed, reactions yet to be measured, and fallout yet to be seen. Loyalty, respect, and legacy hung in the balance. And one thing was clear: the drama, the tension, and the rap beef saga of Maino. DJ Akademiks, Jim Jones, and Fabolous had only reached its halfway point. The room was electric. Tension so thick it could be cut with a knife. After hours of verbal warfare, the air felt like a powder keg, and everyone knew one spark could ignite chaos. Maino had set the stage ablaze. DJ Akademiks had stirred the pot. And now Jim Jones and Fabolous were ready to deliver their own verdicts. The audience leaned forward as if they could feel the collision of egos radiating through every word. Every glance, Maino stepped up again, microphone gripped like a weapon. His energy was unrelenting, a storm that refused to break. He reminded everyone why he wasn't just another voice in Harlem. He was a force. A veteran who could expose, provoke, and dominate without hesitation. Every line landed with precision, hitting hard, stirring old wounds, and forcing acknowledgement. The crowd roared, sensing the weight of history being rewritten before their eyes. Akademiks, calm, yet focused, knew this was the climax. He interjected strategically, not just to comment, but to amplify, to push the tension higher. Every subtle expression, every reaction caught on camera became another headline, another viral clip. Another piece of the saga that would spread across the streets and social feeds. Outside, the city buzzed. Phones recorded. Fans debated. The streets were alive with speculation and intensity, proving that this wasn't just a live event, it was culture in motion. Jim Jones finally broke the silence. his voice cutting through the roar like a sharpened blade. Every word was carefully measured, a mix of history, ego, and street intelligence. He didn't just respond. He reminded the room why he had earned respect, why loyalty mattered, and why Harlem hip-hop had to be defended. The tension in the room was palpable, and even the most seasoned veterans could feel the pressure building. Fabolous leaned in, delivering lines with a precision that was almost surgical. He didn't just react, he dissected, exposed, and reminded everyone of his legacy. Every pause, every inflection, every carefully chosen word added fuel to a fire that had been smoldering for hours. The crowd sensed the gravity of the moment, caught between admiration, shock, and the thrill of unpredictability. Maino countered, refusing to back down. His flow was relentless, his intensity unshakable. He exposed hidden alliances, old grudges, and moments nobody else dared mention. The crowd gasped, cheered, and leaned closer, absorbing every word, knowing that history was being made. Each syllable felt like a hammer strike, echoing beyond the walls, into the streets, into social media, and into the collective consciousness of hip-hop fans everywhere. Akademiks smiled subtly, aware that his role as the instigator had succeeded. He didn't need to say much. His presence amplified the drama. Every camera angle, every reaction, every whispered speculation became part of the narrative. Outside, fans replayed clips, sharing, debating, and dissecting, proving that the impact of tonight would last far beyond the final mic drop. Jim Jones and Fabolous, sensing the climax, delivered their own calculated strikes. Each word, each glance was part of a chess game, balancing pride, legacy, and strategy. The crowd erupted with every subtle jab, every measured insult, every reference that cut deeper than the surface. Harlem's legends had shown that the stage was more than a performance. It was a battleground. And tonight, it was alive with power and influence. The final exchange approached, and Maino unleashed his strongest lines, a mixture of history, revelation, and raw street energy. He didn't just call out names. He dismantled narratives, exposed hidden truths, and reminded everyone why respect was earned, not given. The room trembled with intensity, the air thick with anticipation, the crowd holding its collective breath. Akademiks leaned back, observing the storm he had helped orchestrate. Each reaction, each flinch, each cheer was proof that words carried power more than music, more than fame, more than the industry itself. He had ignited a fire that would continue to burn in Harlem, on social media, and in the streets. Long after the final line had been spoken, Jim Jones responded with authority, voice steady but sharp. Every word reaffirmed his legacy, defended his crew, and countered Maino's attacks with historical precision. Fabolous added layers of intellect and finesse, making it clear that this wasn't just a battle of words, it was a demonstration of dominance, legacy, and survival in Harlem's unforgiving streets. As the last lines were delivered, the crowd erupted in applause, cheers, and stunned silence all at once. Phones recorded, streams captured, and every moment became a viral moment, ensuring that this clash would echo for weeks, months, even years. Social media exploded. Fans and critics alike dissected every line, every expression, every jab. The drama had reached its peak, and the streets would never forget it. Outside, the city buzzed with energy. Clips went viral instantly. Reactions spread like wildfire. And every angle of the confrontation became content for endless debate. Loyalties were tested, reputations challenged, and legacies reinforced. The impact of tonight would resonate far beyond the venue, embedding itself in Harlem hip-hop history by the end. One thing was undeniable. Maino had proven his dominance. DJ Akademiks had orchestrated a spectacle, and Jim Jones and Fabolous had reminded everyone why they were legends. The rap beef wasn't just about disrespect. It was about history, reputation, and survival. It was a reminder that Harlem's stage was sacred, and those who dared step onto it had better be ready to face the consequences. As the crowd began to disperse, the tension lingered. Discussions, debates, and analyses continued long after the lights went out. Fans replayed the moments, dissected the strategies, and speculated on future clashes. This was more than a performance, it was a cultural moment, a living story, hey, and a testament to the power of words, legacy, and street respect. Tonight, Harlem had witnessed something extraordinary. A clash of legends, a war of words, and a drama that transcended music. Maino, DJ, Akademiks, Jim Jones, and Fabolous had created history. Raw, unfiltered, and unforgettable. The streets, the city, and the world would remember. And one thing was clear. In Harlem, respect wasn't given. It was earned, defended, and, if necessary, fought for on stage in the streets. And in the hearts of those who witnessed it firsthand, yo, Harlem streets. And hip-hop heads, you've just witnessed history unfold. Maino went in, DJ Akademiks stirred the pot, and Jim Jones with Fabolous brought the heat like only Harlem legends can. This isn't just a battle of words. It's a test of loyalty, legacy, and respect in the rap game. Every jab, every line, every glance had meaning. And now it's your turn to weigh in. If you're feeling the tension, the drama, and the pure, raw energy of Harlem's finest clashing on one stage, don't just watch, be part of it. Smash that like button to show your support for the real ones keeping hip-hop authentic. Hit subscribe and turn on that notification bell because you don't want to miss the next chapter. Trust me, this saga is far from over. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who came harder? Maino's relentless energy, Jim Jones' street authority, or Fabolous' calculated precision? Who holds the crown of Harlem? We want to hear every opinion, every take. Every hot take that you've been holding back. Share this video with every hip-hop head, every street loyalist, every fan of rap drama. Let the world see the intensity, the raw emotion, and the truth behind Harlem's legendary feuds. Remember? This isn't just entertainment, this is history in motion, and you're part of it. So comment, like, subscribe, and join the conversation. Because when Harlem speaks, the streets listen, and this story is only getting louder. It's only getting louder.